What? I spent how much on my pliers drawer? Are you kidding me? I can't believe that. Hey guys, welcome back. I was trying to update some of my insurance policies and stuff like that, and my insurance guy says, hey, for your toolbox and your tools, you should do a photo and an estimate of what the value is of replacement costs of the things that are in there. Yeah, sounds like a great idea. I mean, why not? So I started, going through some of the things that I got to put in there, and to my amazement, over the years, hey, firecrackers, people are still celebrating the 4th of July. Anyways, to my amazement, over the years of, adding tools and getting things that worked and stuff, I've spent a fortune on pliers. So I figured I would start doing little videos on some of the pliers, their cost, in a sense, or at least try to, and why they're worth what they are when you use them. Now granted, anybody can put tools in a box and set them there, and that's great, they're fine. So to justify, the price of some of these things, like these Knipex, however you want to say them, Cobra pliers, they aren't cheap. These Milwaukees aren't necessarily cheap either. They aren't terribly priced, but they aren't cheap. So when I started comparing prices and stuff, I come across these here, and I looked them up, and I think I found the replacement costs are like 20 bucks. My first thought of 20 bucks on these is, man, that was a huge waste of money. And when I bought these, I got these at basically cost, because the place I was working at could get Milwaukee items much cheaper. I tell you what, if the insurance company gave me 20 bucks and said I had to replace these exactly with what they are, I'd probably tell them keep their 20 bucks. As most of you know, who watch much of my videos, realize that I have a fair bit of Milwaukee products, especially in the battery operated line and the construction tools and saws and stuff like that. I have a week's worth of, 2 weeks, a month. Holy crap. I have a whole crap ton of Milwaukee tools, at least value-wise. Anyways, looking at these, they're slightly different than the Cobras, but they're about the same size as this particular model. Some of the things that I really dislike is, I don't know if you can see exactly how poorly those close on the end. There's just barely a sliver that comes together. That I don't notice too awful much. What I do notice is this handle is crap. I mean, there's huge amounts of flex. I shouldn't say huge, there's a lot of flex. But the way that it's tapered is, if your hand's slightly sweaty, a little bit of grease, a little bit of anything, it feels like it's gonna shoot out. Like, when you squeeze that popcorn seed to shoot at your wife, pop. It feels like that's gonna happen. This thing's gonna shoot across the room. It's gonna, hurt somebody. Still usable, annoying as can be. But one thing that I could never really get over is how these things don't latch or don't change sizes for crap. I mean, it'll slide up and down just great, but when you go to hit your next side, let me get out of here a little bit, it just kind of gets to a spot to where you hit on it and it won't slide in. It just locks in there. I don't know if you can see very well, but there's not really any great tapering on those. So you get to it and you'll be halfway on, like right there, and you can't close this. It won't slide past it. And when you go a little bit too far, like right there, you can't slide past that. You have to be just right. I mean, so you're always doing, you know, one of these of guessing and slamming the damn thing and never getting the size right. It's a pain in the butt. They grip okay-ish. They're kind of square, but nothing too awful special. So for 20 bucks, they, you know, really aren't that great. They're more frustration than anything else. As a DIYer, somebody who's doing stuff at home who wants to have something that says Milwaukee, great. You know, they'd get you by. They have, but they won't go in my toolbox at the shop. They have to stay at home. That way, if my wife happens to try to clean a drain with them or some crap like that, I don't feel so bad about it. Granted, I'm still going to yell at her or, you know, whine that, oh man, that's my favorite tool. I need to replace it with something better now because you got it all rusty. Anyways, that's besides the point. Which comes to tools like these Knipex. Granted, these Cobras, they slide nice and easy. Once they fall into place, you know, adjustments are very incremental, very, you know, kind of no-brainer. As long as it's close, it falls into a spot. It doesn't lock into one section or the other. Another thing is the handle. If you can see, that handle fits right in the chubby of my palm there, and it just kind of hooks around. Same as within the pinky. It just grips. Another thing is when you turn it upside down, it still grips. It kind of curves to it. It doesn't feel like it's gonna slide or fly out of your hand or anything, which is really nice. Now price wise, they're quite a bit more. If I'm grabbing them out of a toolbox to use, I'm grabbing this 100% of the time over those, just because it's so much easier to use. The teeth on it are a different style of teeth. They grip very well. You can get great purchase on it. Going back to how much grip there is on the front, you can see how tight that is crossed versus these. They're wider, but they only come to that thin little point, which is annoying. So if you need to grab a wire or something small, it has very, very little purchase because it's a very thin strip that actually grips. I'd have to look up the price and put it in the video here. I'm thinking these are like $30, $40. Probably close to twice the price of these. But even at that, when you grab it, there's very little flex. My chubby hands kind of go around them, but you have to squeeze to get much movement. These here, granted, you still have to squeeze. If you can watch that end, you get a lot more movement, a lot easier. They just aren't built anywhere near the standard of these. Now with that thinner head, it seems to get into places better. It's also lighter. This, that's a good hammer. In fact, I think that's maybe what it's used for, is just to hammer things. You just have the option of using it as a wrench later. That'd be about the most value of it. Anyways, how much do you spend on pliers? Let me know. Is it worth spending twice as much on a pair of pliers that work better? Leave a comment. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and tell me how much is your pliers drawer worth. Add mine down in the comments after everybody adds theirs, just to see who has the most expensive pliers drawer. That'll be fun.